Hey, hi, good afternoon, and welcome to Vanessa Loves, where we have conversations with well-being experts in their field on what really matters. And today I have the gorgeous Mikki Gaskell with me. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm really good, thank you.
Oh,
So excited to be here.
I know, it's just such a pleasure to just chat with you. And, as I said to you before we came on, you pop into my head a lot. And every time I see you, you have this beautiful vitality, high vibe energy. And whenever I see you, you just make me smile. And I
Oh,
just
thank
thought,
you.
oh, you're welcome. No, it's true. And when I thought that, I thought I must get you here to have a chat with us because I want to
Oh,
share what you are about and kind of what you're passionate about, because as a mindset and manifestation coach in this day and age, here and now, and the time we're
yeah.
experiencing, I'm not so sure there's much else that's more important, in keeping a healthy mind. And so would you just kind of say hi and what you do and why you've got to where you've got to and why you share what you do?
Yeah, thank you. It was such a lovely intro. Yes, so I'm passionate that we came here to enjoy first and
Mm,
foremost,
mm,
and that life is supposed to feel good, which can feel so crazy, that thought now and this last year and everything that's been happening. But I honestly, passionately believe that we are first and foremost meant to feel good. And I feel that we have three, whilst we're all uniquely different, we have three innate parts to us that make us human and that we're all the same. And those things are joy, freedom, and growth.
mm.
And I'm passionate about helping people get to the most and the best way for them and what they want for themselves within those areas.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
yeah, so for me, growth, society makes it as fixates on it. We need to move forward and we need to, and you need to get more and better and da da da. But for me, just by being in life, you grow. You can't help but grow. Things happen to you, for you, with you, and you at times are pushed forward when you don't want it, and at times you move forward when you do. But just by being in life, you grow.
Yeah.
So that to me isn't my natural. To me, it's a natural occurrence of just being human in life.
Yeah.
And then freedom, it's innate in us. It's something that babies, young kids know. It's like, don't tell me what to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Don't tell me what to do. It's innate inside you that no one is supposed to tell you what to do. You are meant to have the freedom of choice to do the things that you want to do. And it drives us,
Yeah.
even though society doesn't, embrace that at all. And it starts from school. You sit there, no, don't talk if we don't want you to, and don't go out. Even if you feel like going out, no, there's a time and place. And you're told from very young that you don't have freedom, you don't have choice. And but it's innate. And so we're always looking for it. We're always fighting against, even subconsciously, other people telling us what to do. It's like, just don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I love bringing that into the mix and helping people understand. And then the last one, oh, it's so key, joy. I honestly believe that we came here to enjoy. And if it could turn it around the other way, not make it all about the growth and moving forward and getting bigger and better and which is great. I'm all for getting whatever you want. But if you could put the focus on the joy, then that comes. The growth then comes in an enjoyable way and in a very much flowy, kind of more natural way. So
that's what we experience, actually, isn't it? Is that because we're not taught that, we kind of like with grit and might apply ourselves to growth rather than it being our natural innate state. So
Exactly.
I totally agree with you on those. This is why I think we just get on so well, because obviously we speak the same language. But and the growth for me, I totally agree with you. My word for it is evolve, because I think society does have that kind of growth of bigger, better, more, which, as you say, is lovely. However,
I'm not against it at all.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just the way that you look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the way, and it's the, if the world is ever evolving and is growing in all dimensions,
yes,
who are we to get in the way of that? But yet we get in the way of ourselves growing and evolving in all ways. And the freedom part, well, nobody teaches us to listen to ourselves, do they? They teach us 2 + 2, but they don't teach us to listen to ourselves.
To listen to your gut, to know what is right for you, you know. And if we did, my gosh, it would be so different and more amazing, because no one would be in competition with anyone else. No one would be jealous of anyone else. That you just stay in your own line, getting the things that you want and that you love, and everyone will be doing that too.
Rather than barging over the next person or tripping them up because they're and the joy part. I think, I see you in our meetings, obviously when we were face to face, and I see you online, and you just exude what I call that innate state of us, that joy place. And we're big fans of Abraham Hicks, right?
Huge.
So she talks, I know, it's amazing. And I'm very envious of the fact that you have seen them live.
I've seen them twice, and they were in the same year. I didn't see them for years and years and years. Wow. And then somehow, weirdly, well, not weirdly, the way the universe worked, but it was, it turned out in the same year.
Amazing. I remember talking to you about that. I'd love to see them. But she talks a lot about, and this is one thing I've recognized I've done for myself, but I, unbeknown to me, had encouraged the kids to do the same. There's so much focus, like you say, on doing what everybody else does and conforming, right?
Yeah.
We're taught to, and that's our conditioning and our programming.
Yeah.
But could you imagine a world if people were encouraged to enjoy, be in the joy?
Yes.
What brings warmth and helps your heart feel like your heart's expanding?
Exactly.
If you did that, and we'll get on to manifestation in a minute, because I know that's your forte.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what you'd manifest?
Oh, wow.
Whereas, because that would be going against the herd by enjoying yourself. So if you're seen to enjoy yourself, you're not seen serious. If you're seen to be enjoying yourself, you don't seem to be working. All this kind of thing. He talks about when you align yourself with that joy, that's the most productive, the highest vibration you can be in, to then manifest what you place your attention on.
Well, that's how it works, because when you're aligned, she always says, you're more powerful than a million who aren't. And when you're aligned, your inner being knows you inside out. It knows everything that you've ever wanted, everything in your deepest part of your heart, everything inside out, and it is focused towards it, which is amazing. And it 24/7, it's focused on you and it's calling you, because it knows the path of least resistance to get there. So when you're aligned, you're moving towards everything that will make you happy and everything that you've ever wanted. And so you can't go wrong. There's no, it's just the most beautiful path to be on. And it doesn't mean,
go on, carry on.
I was just going to say, it doesn't mean that nothing ever bad happens, because people sometimes have this assumption that, well, okay, then life is just meant to be amazing, 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 amazing. But the thing that they don't realize, I like to just say, is that Abraham Hicks calls it contrast, but anything that's happening that's not what you wanted, it's so valuable, because by experiencing something that you don't want, you then realize what you do want.
I love that. Yeah.
Yes. And so it has value. But the thing is to not be stuck in it when it happens to you, which is what most people do.
They unpack a bit, don't they, and stay there.
Well, you stay there and you're like, oh, and why? You know, I mean, no one wants to stay there on purpose, but it's just the way that, you know, they're used to. But if you can see it for the reason that it came, which was to help you work out a little bit more of what you want, and by working out what you don't want and tweaking and honing in your desires, then when something like that happens, you take the bounce. You go, okay, that is not what I want. What do I want? Well, it's that.
Yeah.
And then take the focus onto your newfound desire, and off you go.
Yeah, it's really interesting you should say that, because trying to help myself, first of all, understand how that worked, because you kind of get it, but it's understanding it.
Absolutely.
I liken it to the barriers on a bowling alley. You know, when you go bowling with the barriers right? And it stops the ball from going in the rut. When they hit the barrier, which was normally me, hit the barrier, right? The idea of the barrier, the idea of bowling is to hit the pins, right?
Yeah.
Get a strike. The idea of the barrier was to stop you falling in the gutter and to realign you to hit the pins.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So when we hit a wall or a barrier, or something unlovely happens, or it's all a bit crap, rather than going, which we innately do with default as human beings, is why it's happening to me, all of that kind of stuff. Then rather than saying, why is the bumper there? Recognize it as, oh, I'm off alignment, you know,
exactly. Love that.
Kind of
love that analogy.
Kind of wakes us up, as you beautifully said. If I don't want that, what do I want? But the shift from that, understanding that logically, is, I think people get, where do you help people, and how do you help people when they perhaps either want to level up or have had that bump, and how do you help them shift from the bump to realigning on what they do want, which would be a really helpful tip to share in this find ourselves at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, often it depends on the person and where they're at in their journey, and generally you have to be in a place open enough to take it in and to do it, you know, no matter how much you hear. If you're not ready, it's just not, you're not ready at that moment. Not forever, obviously you will be, but just at that moment you're not. But generally what I say is, if it's a specific subject that person's on a wobble about, if you like, you know, if it's a specific subject, then often I'll say, get out of that subject, because if it's really close to them and they're finding it hard to detach from it in a way where to put sort of more logical steps into place, the easiest thing is to just detach, because the law of attraction shows that you don't have to be thinking about the subject that you want changed and be aligned with that subject for it to change. The interesting thing is, you just need to be aligned, and then that all the subjects that aren't will naturally rise to the same level of vibration. So often it depends when I talk to them and I gauge where they're at with that subject. You know, if they can go general enough about it and they can kind of get to where they want with it, then we do that. But if I can see that, you know, that they're just not ready there, then stay off the subject. Stay off the subject and focus on. So what do you do instead? You focus on something that is working for you right now. Something, it doesn't even have to be, maybe not even that sort of terminology is working for you, something that brings you joy. It can be a pet, you know, it can be the stuff, it can be anything that you just go, that's good. When I think about that, that's good, that's working.
I think that's the key thing you just did there, was that it's that relief, isn't it?
Yes,
That
yes,
your area of expertise is mindset. So
yes,
mindset is our thought process.
yes.
So do you want to just talk to us a little bit about kind of, you know, the importance of where to place your thoughts and why?
Yeah. So mindset is absolutely key. It's literally the most important thing that you can do, because with a positive mindset, you can move mountains.
Yeah.
You can do the seemingly impossible. If your mindset isn't positive, there's very, very little you can do. It doesn't mean you won't do it, but it won't be
Hard work.
It's hard work. It'll take longer and very hard work. So your mind is this incredible thing that we've got, and we all have it, in the sense of your thoughts, they create, okay? They're not just thoughts that you're just thinking, and because they're inside you, they have no effect or they have no power. They're creating. And it's like, so, you know, I use the analogy actually like Abraham Hicks, it's like a radio signal.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking, you're tuning in to, say, radio 1, that's what you're going to get. Whatever you're thinking about, say you're thinking positive, great thoughts, you're going to be matched with evidence of that kind of vibration. However, if you're putting out there, oh, this is really hard, or I'm really, you know, I don't know if I can do this, or this never works for me, or any of those kind of normal, natural feelings, if you're tuning in to say that's capital, you can't get radio 1. You can't get a positive from a negative, and the other way around.
Yeah.
And so your thoughts are so important. They're so important. And interestingly, your thoughts come first before feelings.
Yeah.
So often people think, say, if they want to be more confident in life, well, I'll just, you know, I'm just waiting to feel a little bit more confident and then I'll go and do that thing. But it doesn't work that way round. You have to think how, say, a confident person thinks, those kind of thoughts, and then the feelings come afterwards.
Yeah.
So when you understand the process, yeah, it makes such a difference, because you get clearer about what you're doing, how you work, how the world works, and how you can best work together.
Absolutely. With the world working through you, if you like, the universe working through you.
Yes.
It's interesting you say about with your thought process and then your feelings. So it's easier to think better, or it's easier logically to understand that that's, I focus on that thing that's going to bring me joy, or I focus on that thing and I think about either, because you can't think 2 things at the same time.
No, exactly.
But it's then, I think where people get stuck is that they don't appreciate that the energy of emotion is actually what's stuck in their bodies. So they kind of get frustrated with themselves when they think, you know, kind of think. But you've got to connect the two. You've got to appreciate that your thoughts affect your feelings.
Exactly.
Also
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so if you can put your thoughts onto a subject that makes you feel good, what happens then is momentum kicks in. So momentum is hugely powerful as well. And it doesn't take very long. Abraham Hicks says after 17 seconds, thinking about a subject, a momentum starts. And then what the momentum does is it brings you more thoughts like the original one. And after 68 seconds, so really short amount of time, the momentum starts moving. So if you think of it like a snowball at the top of the mountain, you know.
I use that. By the time it's got to the bottom, it wipes out the
It's so big, and it's all like impossible to try and direct it and steer it where you want to go, which are your thoughts, to try and change your thoughts or distract yourself or change, you know. So you want to catch the momentum early on, or as early on as possible, because we're human. And if momentum has taken over, if by the end of a day, say at the end of a rubbish day, the easiest thing is to stop the momentum, for example, by going to sleep, rather than trying to maneuver in, trying to think of a different subject, or trying to write a gratitude journal, or trying to, you know, the momentum's too big.
Yeah.
So yeah,
naps. So either naps if it's in the day, or just go to sleep, because it's just turning that off, isn't it?
Well, momentum, the one thing that actually shuts it down is sleep.
Yeah.
So it kills it. Boom.
Mm.
So when you're asleep, you have stopped the momentum. And when you wake up, you are back to your natural place, as all of us, which is high up in vibration. What normally happens, though, unfortunately, is when people wake up, they're there, but they then immediately go to the last thought that they were at, and then boom, you're back to where you were, because you're worried, or you sat, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But before that moment of thought, your natural place to be is always aligned and high, always.
And in harmony with all of that, isn't it?
Yes,
It's a really powerful analogy, and it's something that we hear over and over and over again. But you have such a beautiful way of helping people understand the power of their thoughts, and how you describe it. And it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. But understanding. So you say about, if you want to understand, because a lot of people may think that they think positively. Don't they? I get that a lot. People say to me, but I do think positively. And then they'll say, but my life is really hard work. Or so their language that they use, the language of their thoughts, actually the vibration of their voice, it has to match, like you say, the feeling has to match the thought.
Yes.
So is it fair to say that maybe an indication of what you're thinking is have a look at how you feel, or have
100%.
Have a look at what you're experiencing in your outside world?
100%.
Be an indication.
Yes.
To change
your 100%, because your feelings are your guidance system.
Yeah.
If you're feeling good, that's a surefire way to know you're aligned.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling, and that goes, they all goes hand in hand, because you can't be aligned and think negative. It just doesn't work that way, because your inner being, whatever you believe, inner being, your soul, whatever it is that you call it or want to, you believe in, never, ever, ever looks back, is always aligned, looking, facing forward, going towards everything that you want. Yeah. And so if you're feeling good, you're aligned.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not possible to be feeling good and not aligned. It just defies the law of
well, absolutely. And who are we to defy the laws?
It's impossible. We can't.
I love that. Oh, so in this time, I know you work with people that are really this pandemic has perhaps highlighted something in them that they're like, right, okay, off I go. So you work with people.
I do. I work primarily with people who are motivated to change.
Yeah.
They're ready. They may not know how or when or what it looks like.
Well, that's
not about that. But what was that?
That's why they come to you.
Yeah.
They just know that they're ready.
Exactly.
They kind of need a bit of a guiding hand or
and some know what it looks like, but they need, guiding help in some other thing, and some don't know, and it's all different. And interestingly, for quite a while throughout 2020, I've been working with teenagers, slightly older teenagers, up to 18 has been the average. But it's been really interesting. I always had done before, but more so with all the pandemic.
Oh, that's
I love it, because they're closer to understanding all this. They've had less years being unlearning all the stuff that you naturally know, and so they get it a bit,
I love
often
that.
quicker.
They just want a loving space to be able to explore that, don't they?
Yeah.
Provide that. Awesome.
Yeah.
So in closing, and I'll share all how people can get in contact with you and stuff if they've got any questions or want to connect with you. But what's running through your mind right now, and something like, a nugget of wisdom or something that has just inspired you of late? What does Mikki want to share in the last kind of few moments?
I generally love saying that it's not my saying, but I've used it, that forward is forward. And stop worrying about your speed. because I think, you know, people get so caught up like, oh, I'm not getting where I want to go, or, you know, and get that frustration, and just know that it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. You know?
Yeah, I love that, because we trip ourselves up, don't we, so many times by focusing too much or paying attention to, you know, it shouldn't be this way, rather than actually just enjoying yourself. You have that sense of freedom that you talk about, and you would naturally grow as you move forward. So forward is forward. Don't worry about the speed. I think we could all do with that reminder today. Brilliant. Well, it's an absolute joy. I'm going to look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for showing up here with us today and just chatting with me. It's always a joy. I love what you do. I love you.
I feel so privileged that you invited me. I do. And very, very, very grateful. Thank you.
I just wanted to share you and your beautiful wisdom with the world. So thank you. Bless you.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to catching up with you soon, sweetheart. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.